Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball Podcast, episode 79. I'm Adam Miller, and I'm here with Jaren Will each and every week, and we are going to be bringing you the news and notes on all 11 Division I schools in the state of Indiana, because in 49 states,
it's just basketball.
This is the last episode where we will be talking about, where we will be recapping a college basketball game from the 2024-2025 season.
Yes.
Feels weird. Season 2 is almost over. We've got...
Well, technically,
right.
Season 2 ends in November.
Season 2 post-season, the off-season of Season 2 is about to begin in 2 weeks. Well, I guess 3 weeks after this, because we have 2 more episodes coming down the pipeline where we will recap the season, kind of talk about how right or wrong we were, mostly wrong, but... Today, that's not what we're talking about, Jaren. What are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about a little bit about the national championship game that happened a week ago and the Masters that happened, well, I guess it concluded today, but it happened in the last 4 days.
Right. Yeah. The national championship game is a little bit of old news. That's just kind of the downside of us having a show that goes live on Sunday nights is it's great for the regular season. Horrible for specifically this one. This week specifically.
Yeah. Maybe next year, since your kids will be a little bit older, maybe you can get away a little bit sooner. Maybe we can, or I guess more, maybe. And maybe we can adjust our schedule at least for the NCAA tournament, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Probably not.
We'll see. I mean,
but I've got high hopes.
You know, the first weekend, the games just go so late, even on Sundays. Even on Sunday, it's still pretty late. And I think there was still a game going on in the round of 32 when we recorded.
There was.
Which is not ideal. But
no.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would like to do more stuff. And that might not be more podcast. That might be more just live stuff. I think would probably be more fun. We'll probably be together for the next NCAA tournament, so might do more live things there. But yeah, that's a little bit of our schedule. We'll see what we do. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of a byproduct of our show releasing on Sundays. If you follow us on TikTok or you're watching on TikTok now, we were live on TikTok watching the game, reacting to the game, I guess.
I mean, I guess technically the audio is getting picked up, so you can kind of hear it, but...
We were watching the game on TikTok. You could see us watching. You could watch us watch the game.
Yeah.
You just couldn't watch the game on our screen. You could watch it with us and talk to us about it.
Maybe next year we'll be bigwigs enough that CBS will give us streaming rights.
And that means we will be employees of CBS. So set the bar high. John Rothstein, if you're listening, get the word out that we're coming. But we're talking about the national championship game.
Florida won.
The final score was 65-63. Florida beat Houston.
Yeah, Houston pretty much commanded the entire game, but the last
3, 4,
5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah. So I think we're both cheering for Houston.
Yeah.
Did we pick Houston in our team bracket?
In our team bracket, we had Houston losing to St. John's.
Okay, yeah. Well, we had half of that right. Houston did lose in the national championship game. We just had the team.
We just had they played.
You know what? We actually did have the same region because Florida is the same region as St. John's. So we were, if you think about it, we were kind of close.
Kinda. I guess the downside though of our we went with our hearts and not our brains.
Yeah.
I think we were a little over ambitious with St. John's winning. Just because the history in terms of their stats maybe weren't in their favor. But Florida made it. Florida won.
Their third national championship ever. The first two came back-to-back in 06 and 07,
yes,
right?
Correct.
And so I guess we'll have to see if Florida wins it again next year. They've only ever gone back-to-back.
Yeah.
So they have to go back to back, which would be crazy to have two teams go back to back in a row with UConn and then Florida.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about it. I kind of forgot about that. They're not gonna have Walter Clayton Jr. though, so that's not in their favor because the dude was an absolute dog.
Didn't really have him in the national championship game for the most part either.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. But he was enough of a bothersome player that like I'm sure it still impacted.
He had the big defensive stop down the stretch at the end to force the end of the game, like that caused that turnover.
You think about like Houston game plan, I'm sure, around locking him down.
And they did that.
But like that obviously when you put so much effort in trying to lock one person down, it does free up opportunities for other players, and I think that's kind of what happened.
I mean, he was coming into this game, he was averaging like 24 and some change in the tournament, and they held him to 0 in the first half. He finished with 11 on 3 of 10 shooting, went 1 of 7 for 3, and he's a guy that, can just knock him down whenever he wants, it feels like. And so
he also set the all-time NCAA tournament record in scoring on like the Elite Eight.
Yeah. Right, very early on.
He broke it going into or in the middle of the Elite Eight game or going into
which is kind of.
I think he broke it in the Sweet 16, or no, maybe he broke it in the Elite Eight game, and then the Final Four game is when I saw the stat that it had been broken. But
just kind of crazy because, like, I guess I was surprised that Zach Edey wasn't higher with just how many points he would put up. Like, he was like a walking 20 piece.
Yeah.
And if he was averaging 24, like, it was.
But Walter Clayton was also a walking 30 piece for the first couple rounds.
Games. So, but it was. We talked about it while we were watching it, and we were talking about how you're playing it, like if you're playing a low scoring game, which is what it ended up being, 65-63, like Florida wants to score in the hundreds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were in a game that was exactly how Houston wanted to play it for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And we thought that was going to be a recipe for Houston to come away with the national championship, with the trophy. And it really seemed like that until Houston had in like the last 5 minutes, they had like 4 turnovers, which is like more than they had in the entire first half. They just completely crumpled down the stretch.
And there were 8 straight fouls called against Houston.
Yep.
Which,
because like it was pretty Florida heavy. Remember that right before that there were like 4 straight ones on, like it was like 4 fouls or 5 fouls to 0 to start the second half, and Florida had 5 and Houston had 0.
Florida was in the bonus before Houston even had a foul. Or Houston was in the bonus before
pretty much
a foul was called.
Yeah, and so like I don't know how I feel about that. Like the officiating was odd, obviously. The officiating I feel like too often is an issue, but like I'm a guy that like they called it completely differently
in the second half,
which is odd. Like if you should call it consistently, I feel like, right? Like no,
I would think, yeah, because
like
the script
in the game, everyone's used to the game, and all of a sudden second half it changes.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I know that refs, during halftime, they also go back and reevaluate their performance from the first half, and maybe something like that happened. I don't know. Right. I'm not here to speculate.
They decided that it had to be called differently. I don't know, but Florida was like, this wasn't like a surprise that Florida won. They were really good down the stretch. They obviously won the SEC tournament. They beat Auburn in the Final Four, and they beat Houston, who was really like one of the best teams all year. Like the discussion was always Houston. Well, sorry, it was like Auburn for the most part, and then it was
Duke,
and then Houston was in there, and those were like the top 3 teams. And they're like, these are the top 3, and then Florida kind of came on later as like that 4th team. They were obviously the 4th number 1 seed, so like that they were, one of the best teams, but like they kind of came on later, and not a lot of people were talking about Florida as like one of the best teams in the country, nor were they really talking about Walter Clayton Jr. as like one of the best players in the country until
tell you what, his draft stock skyrocketed during the tournament.
It better have. Like all the digs on him like being small and like stuff,
and being older.
Yeah, but that boy nice. I mean,
that boy nice.
How can you look at that and like not want a guy like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It reminds me of, and I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a 1-to-1 here, but like Jalen Brunson was most outstanding player. And like I don't even remember where he got drafted. But it was he was very undervalued as a draft prospect, and now look at him, like so that's kind of what it reminds me of, and I would not be surprised if that's kind of what happens here. He was Jalen Brunson was 33rd overall, which is like crazy. Like how can you be like one of the best players in the country, show out in the NCAA tournament, and then just be like, I don't know. I don't really think it'll work in the NBA.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Steph Curry, he's so small. Okay.
Your point?
Yeah. Look at him. Doesn't matter if he's small, he can still shoot.
Yep.
So it was really, really cool to see like how it was done. We were heartbroken, admittedly, for Houston, which is kind of, I would say, an uncommon take in the state of Indiana.
Correct.
Because Purdue lost to Houston, so like you're mad about that, especially because of how you lost. So like Purdue fans didn't want Houston to win, and then Indiana fans didn't want Houston to win because it's Kelvin Sampson, and he got fired from your program and kind of led to some down years there. So like I don't know, don't subscribe to that. We like Kelvin Sampson. We like the way he plays. We like the way he coaches. We like his teams a lot, and he's a coach who's just done so well and hasn't won one. It would have been really nice to see him get one.
Yeah.
But Todd Golden wins one at 39, which is cool. He has some controversy. A
little bit.
Little Title IX investigation against him. So
a little bit, yeah.
That's interesting. We're not going to get into that. We usually don't get into that on our show, but cool to see that Florida won a national championship. Would have liked to have been Houston, but Houston is like a lot of places preseason number 1, and that's one thing that I don't think I had paid much attention to, because when I'm looking at like the recruiting classes and stuff, I'm looking at these schools above us and the other 7 in the state.
Yeah,
so I'm not really looking at Houston as like I think the number 1 class. And so it seems like they can reload. So might not have been his last chance, but like you were up by double digits in the national championship game. That might be the best chance you ever get, because you are literally supposed to win the game at that point. Especially like you're down 12 to Houston. That's like being down 30 to somebody else.
Yeah.
And Florida did it. I mean, they shut Houston out at the end of the game.
Yep. Well, let's talk about more recent sports things.
A better tournament, really. I mean, all in all.
Oh yeah. The Masters. So we love golf. We don't have a golf podcast, but we have a golf episode on our basketball podcast.
And if you're here in about a week and a half, you might see us golfing live for 4 days straight.
Pretty much, yeah. We're going on a golf trip to celebrate some birthdays. But the Masters concluded earlier this evening, about 6:30, I think.
Yeah.
It's about what?
Right around
about 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Late.
Yeah.
That's why we're drinking azaleas, the official drink of the Masters.
Yes. Rory McIlroy completed his career Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
He's the 6th person to ever do it. He did it on the 50th anniversary of Jack Nicklaus's 6th Masters win.
That's really cool.
Or not the 50th anniversary of his 6th win.
You can pull this out. I believe you. I believe in you.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay. I'll trust you. I didn't hear the
Maybe.
stat. But much like how the NCAA tournament got better as it went on, the Masters did too, because the final day pairing of Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy was like, you're getting like two polar opposite people paired up together. And was it last year's U.S. Open or 2 years ago U.S.
2024.
Open? 2024 U.S. Open when Bryson won it, and there's that picture of Rory looking...
Just leaning over the score table, just absolutely defeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, Bryson's very boisterous. He obviously is like making YouTube and TikTok content. He's hitting holes in one over his house. He's doing all this stuff. And then there's Rory, who's like, you know, humble, quiet, just wants to play golf, basically. Two very different guys.
Yeah. Sorry, it was the 50th anniversary of a 40-foot birdie putt that Jack Nicklaus hit to win the Masters. It was not his sixth Masters, but yeah. And so that was pretty cool. They paid homage to that putt by changing the normal pin location on the 16th hole for the 4th day of the tournament to be that location in honor of the 50th anniversary, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like when they do stuff like that. I'm all for like you know, letting everyone have their moment, but like showing respect in a way that like doesn't change anything.
It was Jack Nicklaus's fifth green jacket 50 years ago for Rory to get his first and complete the career Grand Slam.
So I think, you know, it was interesting to see because obviously like the first day, I really after the first and the second day, what's his face was leading?
Justin
Rose was leading. He had a monster first day. He comes out 7 under on the first day, and then does okay. You know, shoots 1 under on the second day, so like he's 8 under, and then just has an awful third day.
Yeah,
and then bogeys. You know, loses that leader spot. I don't remember where he started on the day today. I don't remember where he was on the leaderboard. But he was down, like, Bryson was second at -8.
-10.
Or -10, and Rory was -12.
Yes.
And Rose would have been -5.
-1.
Yeah, -7, -8, +3. That would have been -5.
-5.
So he was 7 strokes behind. And it's like, okay, he's led before and just never won. Just like always falls behind. And that's what it looked like was going to happen until today when he shoots a 66.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nuts.
He, well, then Rory started the day at -12, right? He double bogeyed hole number 1.
Yeah. And I was like, we were texting about it and I was like, oh, like, that pressure is just going to be too much.
And then he comes back and he birdies 2 holes, birdies 2 more holes. He bogeyed, had another double bogey. He's also the first ever player to win a Masters having 4 or more double bogeys, because he had 2 today and then 2 in the first round. But
yeah, he goes down, like Bryson's out of the running by hole 5. It was like, oh, okay.
It was like,
he got like 2 bogeys in a row, and then McIlroy birdied them, so it was like a 4-stroke swing.
Yeah. And then
he took back the lead.
And then Bryson double bogeyed because he was trying to made sense. He was trying to regain a stroke or two.
Yeah.
By shooting over the water on 11.
And he was close.
Yeah.
He was so close, dude.
Yeah, and then he just put it in the water. That's an automatic 2-stroke swing.
And you're like that. Okay, that's gonna seal it for him. Like he's out of the running.
And then there's a chance too on like 17. It was like, okay, well, he might be able to get it close again because he had just picked up 2 birdies, and he hit a bunker shot that he should have cleared. He even said he was like, I don't know if the wind just like picked up after I hit it, but he put it in the bunker, and that set him back as well. So definitely didn't. And I'm a big Bryson fan. He's probably one of my favorite golfers.
He really had a pivot. Like, he didn't have a pivot. He had his public image really changed.
Yeah, in the last couple years.
He started out as like just some guy who was just trying to hit it really hard, and everyone, like old heads, were getting mad because he was like challenging the things that they love, and then he was really showed like his ball knowledge, and like that he's really knowledgeable.
And he's also just modernizing the game. I mean, he uses custom-made irons. They're all 3D printed. All of his irons are the same length.
Yep.
Which is not normal for golf. The only thing he adjusted was the club head angle.
Right. Well,
and but he really he's a nerd. He's a nerd. And he doesn't seem like it, but he's also a content creator, so people don't like him because he's a content creator and that's what he does. And like his free time, he's also in the Live Tour, which a lot of people don't like.
Yeah.
So but he's a ball knower. Is really what it boils down to when it comes to golf. And
I think that, like his putting wasn't as good as it could have been today.
Yep.
And he even said he fell short, but
it also didn't help that he had early tee times in the first 2 rounds for sure, and a little bit in the third round. Yeah. So he's playing in the afternoon, evening.
Everything's faster.
So he wasn't prepared for that. So he didn't get any broadcast time in the first 2 rounds.
He was just okay. Like last day, he's here.
Yeah.
But if there's a guy who can make up a stroke, it would be him, because just of the way he plays, he can hit it farther than you. Like you can be more precise, but he's gonna get closer every time.
And he drives the ball far, but he also has incredible bunker play.
Yeah.
So if he's in a bunker, especially if it's a greenside bunker, then chalk that hole up to a loss, probably.
Right,
because he's able to recover.
You hit it into the bunker, it's over. It's like, no, he's fine. He's fine.
But I like Bryson a lot, just because I also think he has helped bring a younger generation to golf.
Yeah,
because he appeals to a younger audience, and I think that people don't like him because of his social media presence, but at the same time, I like it. It's the old heads that don't like him.
Yeah, and he's never done anything
no controversy.
He's never done anything disrespectful to golf. He's just it's like saying Steph Curry is controversial because he shoots too many threes. It's within the rules of the game. You're allowed to.
Yeah.
If you can hit it that far, if you can drive over that, why would you not be allowed to then?
And he's gotten like I mentioned, he 3D printed clubs or whatever. He got them all approved.
Right.
There's nothing illegal about what he does.
Yeah.
Did you hear the story that they talked about during it, where last night he was just going on a walk around Augusta? So he obviously rented a house for the week.
Yeah.
He was going on a walk, just around the neighborhood or whatever, and there was just a house having maybe not a party, but kind of a party, and he just
Masters Week.
He just saw lights on, saw some hubbub going, and he walked up to their backyard or wherever, like where the people were, and he was like, just like hi, like, and like asked if he could come in. And they were like, well, who are you? And I was like, I'm Bryson, like Bryson DeChambeau. And they're like, oh, and I'm Jack Nicholas, the person who owned the house. And then he got closer, and that people were like, oh, it's actually Bryson. And the house that he went to, they had a putting green in their backyard. And so he just like hung out and just hit some balls with the people having some
randos.
Yeah,
that's an all-time story for those people.
Yeah, that's like crazy. I think that's just like the type of person that he is. That he's just super personable, like wants to hang out.
Yeah,
and people are probably gonna spin and be like, "Oh, he shouldn't have been out late, hanging out with other people because it cost him the round." It's like
he teed off at 2:00.
Yeah, right. And I don't even know how late it was. It was nighttime, but like that could mean literally anything.
Right. He was done golfing for hours. Like, what do you want him to do? He can't go. He can't. He had almost 1,000 balls on the range.
Yeah,
he's fine.
Immediately after he played.
Yeah, like
on day 3, Saturday, he just
hit more balls.
Played, hit more balls. Showed up today, hit a bunch of balls in the range. Like,
yeah,
I just think that he's good for the game, and obviously Rory is just that traditional, like, I'm gonna go out and play golf.
Yep.
Keeps to himself, doesn't like the attention.
Yeah.
Doesn't like the spotlight.
And this was the one that was hanging over him
since literally for the last 11 years. Yeah. Since 2014.
He just couldn't. He
had a chance to win and lost it.
Yep.
So I think it's good.
That was cool to see him win, and it, like, first of all, we didn't even talk about the fact that on 18 he has. I was putting my son to bed, so I couldn't hear it. I was watching on mute. Did they say how far the putt was on 18?
That he missed?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it had to have been like less than 6 feet.
It was like maybe 8 feet tops.
Right.
Tops.
Right.
An 8-foot putt, which, like, can be missed, but like he didn't have like a crazy lie. It was like a pretty standard dead straight, no break putt. All he had to do was make this putt, and he wins the Masters. That's it. And he just misses it. Just completely misses the cup, goes right on the edge.
Yep. Got a bogey.
Gives a bogey, and then that brought Justin Rose back in because he was at -11, sitting on the range, hitting balls, waiting to see, and they cart him back out to 18. They play a playoff hole. And
can we talk about the stadium pulse? You just bogey this hole.
Yep.
Now you have to play it again. Literally less than 10 minutes later.
Okay, my question is, I was listening to it on mute, so I don't know if they said it or if you know this already, but who picks the hole? Is it always 18?
So it's 18 and 10 are the playoff holes.
And you just go boom, 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 boom. You just play 18, 18, 18, 10, 18, 10, 18,
I think 10, so. I think so. I was shuffling around doing some other things like at that time. I don't remember how they fully explained it, but I think 18 is always the first hole.
Okay. That's the question I had, because like at first I was like, oh man, that would suck to play the same hole immediately after, and then I was like, no, that's probably the best case scenario, because you literally just played this hole. Now you just have to do it again. It's the most, like, it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah, so it begins on 8. Yeah, it begins on 18, then goes to 10, and they just go back and forth.
Okay.
Until there's a winner. So like, but yeah, I do think it worked in his favor, because he just played it. Mm-hmm. He could make those instant adjustments.
Right. He knows exactly where he wants it to be.
Yeah. He knows that, and he even said it. He was like, my drive was a little bit further than the second time than it was the first time. And he used the same next club. Right. He was like, I was a little closer. I knew that if I hit the same club, I'd have the same distance. I'd hit the like ridge on the green, and I knew it would roll back.
Yeah.
and he just hit it. He had his distances perfect. He hit it. It rolled back. He got within, 5 feet or whatever.
He was really close.
And Justin,
you're not gonna miss that putt twice.
No. And Justin Rose was, a little further out, and he just
missed it.
Pushed it a little bit, or I guess pulled it a little bit to the left.
He should have been on the range. Should have gone to the putting green too, man. That's a brutal look that's a brutal break for Justin Rose to go out there.
Also trying to win his first as an older player in the tournament.
Not get it, like be leading for 2 days, get out of it on the third one, come back, claw yourself back in, and then can't hit the putt. And he hadn't putted in probably at least 45 minutes.
Yeah, and he took his sweet time too lining up the putt.
Yeah, I would too. It was like, I just hit range balls for 45 minutes, dude. I didn't practice my putting.
Yeah, and it didn't help that he bogeyed 18 twice this tournament. He bogeyed it in the first round. Mm-hmm. He bogeyed it in round 3. He did birdie it in his final round, but ended up with the par in the playoff.
He was like a little surprised. So he was a little bit surprised because his ball went right by the pin.
Yeah.
It went right by the pin, but it had no rollback, which he was like, he thought it was going to catch and roll back a couple of feet. It didn't. If it did, they're probably playing 10.
Yeah.
Like if it rolls back at all, they're playing 10 afterwards. But really cool. Did you see somebody retweeted on November 6th, 2018, McElroy said, "Good luck to my friend Evan Boudreau and his teammates on the Purdue men's basketball team in their season opener tonight against Fairfield. Get the win and boiler up."
I literally sent you that tweet as we went live.
That's funny. He's a Purdue fan.
Because the tweet that I sent you was that tweet quote tweeted, and it said, "Congratulations on winning the Masters to noted Purdue fan Rory McIlroy."
That's really funny. Yeah, Purdue men's basketball quote tweeted it. Congrats, Rory. That's funny. How do people find this stuff? Like, are they just bookmark tweets, or they just go on to Rory's thing and they type in Purdue just because?
I don't know. There's no way it was bookmarked.
It's probably.
If it was bookmarked, they had
32 bookmarks as of now. Do they have bookmarks in 2018?
I don't think so. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna start going back to people's Twitters 6 years and start bookmarking things. Be like, why does this have one bookmark?
But yeah, still really exciting. I thought it was a blast watching the tournament. I didn't get to watch as much the first couple rounds just because I was working, and then with baseball, since I'm, in the middle of high school baseball season, didn't get to watch as much as I wanted. Got to watch several groups end yesterday on Saturday, and then pretty much we golfed this morning.
Yeah, that was fun.
The main TV broadcast didn't start until 2, which is always weird. But I got home 12:30, I think, after golfing, and turned on just Paramount Plus and watched.
I was watching
the broadcast.
All my watching was the Masters app.
Yeah, I had a lot on the Masters app.
Even today, I just kept it on the Masters app, and I had to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, because you were ahead of me, and he was putting. Rory was putting on 18, and he had not yet putted, and you texted me what a choke, and I was like, no.
Oh, my bad.
How would you know?
My bad.
It's never. It's enough of a. It's close enough in time that it would never be an issue.
And usually
we're all watching.
And usually I'm it takes a second before I text you about something.
Yeah.
But this time it was I had my phone in my hand, locked and loaded,
because everyone was watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it, because I knew it was literally coming down to that.
Yeah.
So, my bad.
Again, how would you know?
True. You should have told me. but yeah, it was a fun tournament. We golfed today. My first time golfing in 2 years because of my back
surgery,
and I was very pleased with my performance.
You are either just gonna start there and go up, or
this was the peak.
You're gonna have a regression.
We played a muni, so it was not the best course.
We played a par 65, no par fives.
That's also
where
true.
I golfed in high school for the golf team,
and I think
not
that
a nice course.
If my golf performance gets to what it was prior to my back issue, I think that par fives I'm better suited playing par fives because
you get an extra stroke.
Well, I can also drive the ball. Like if the driver's in my hand,
right,
that's always going to benefit me more.
Right, you're gonna drive, and then you're gonna hit an iron, and you'll probably be on.
Shit, I'm gonna drive and then hit a wedge. I disdain my I literally there were shots that I hit today. Yeah, there were shots that I hit today that I should have used an iron, but I was like pulling out the wedge.
I'm the opposite. Well, I like my wedges are fine. My pitching and my sand wedge I like. My 60 degrees.
I have 4 wedges in my bag.
I have a 60. I have a pitching and I have a sand, and that's it. Other than that, I love 9 through 6 iron. I love 5 and 4. 4 I don't really ever hit.
I don't think I have a 4 in my bag.
Not many people do anymore because like it's kind of hard to hit. And I've got if you're hitting a 4 iron, you can hit a 5 wood most of the time. So
yeah.
Like, why would you not just hit a 5 wood?
Yeah. I got driver, 5 wood, 4 hybrid.
I need to throw my hybrid into a river. I hate my hybrid.
I hit my hybrid 2 times today, and I pured it every time. And you've seen my hybrids in the past.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever hit a hybrid well.
I got a new hybrid that's less forgiving, or more forgiving. Sorry, more forgiving.
I was gonna say that's crazy if you're out here hitting better with a.
No, I got a more forgiving hybrid, and I was standing in mud. I have mud on my pants, but I pured. I didn't have the angle right. But
the contact was good. The distance is good.
The contact and the distance.
Did I line it up? No.
Perfect. Well, I was standing in mud. I was crawling through. I was literally crouched down, crawling through brush and trees. I got stabbed in the I got stabbed in the back of the neck by a twig. I was dodging just like animal scat that was just like scattered throughout this bushy area. I was determined to get my ball out of there. I was not leaving that spot.
Let the record show
without my ball.
I found 2 balls and didn't lose any. So
I found like 4 balls, didn't lose any. I only netted 1 positive because I gave the other ones to Logan because he had lost more. And I'm not a selfish guy, you know. I didn't need the extra balls. I've got a full dozen in my bag plus that 4 that I pulled out today. So that's 16 golf balls.
That should be plenty.
I don't need more than that. And not
at the Mac, you don't.
No, exactly. And I didn't lose a ball. Played my original ball the entire time.
Same. The second one in my pocket, never even touched it.
Yeah, I had 3 in my push cart. Didn't touch them.
That's the best.
1 in my pocket because I found it while I was getting my original ball out of that brush pile.
That's the best feeling.
But then I, played out of mud, pured it.
I played that hole so bad.
That was the only hole I beat you on, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
No, I would have had to beat you on another hole, I think, because
You parred 6, and I bogeyed it.
Yeah, and then because you only beat me by 4 strokes.
Mm-hmm. We tied on a couple.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I bogeyed. I doubled 7, but you tripled 7.
Dude, I was 4 over after 6, and then I was 7 over after 7. That is so demoralizing.
Yeah. I didn't know my score because I thought you were keeping my score.
I thought you were keeping your score.
And
Listen, I love you. I do. I love you. I do not love you that much.
Well, I thought we had like talked about it and like it was established. But you were setting up the round not to keep score.
Yeah.
So that was on me, but I went back. I knew my strokes compared to Logan's on every hole, and was able to. You
were able to go through it.
I was able, and I got it right. I put them all in right. I did buy a scorecard like holder thing, the like little leather binder things.
Oh God.
Because I just don't want to like we're not sponsored, but we use 18 birdies when we golf, and I just don't. I loved it in the past because I'd have my phone up. I had a little thing that I could for the distances and whatnot, but like I don't need that anymore because I've got a rangefinder.
Bro, I'm gonna have to enter all my 18 birdies. Someone's gonna have to keep my score on the golf trip because I'm gonna be using my phone to record.
I'll manually keep. We'll have Logan set up all the rounds. I'll manually keep my score on my scorecard.
In my score.
And I'll keep your score.
I'll keep mine in the golf cart.
And then I'll just retroactively add them at the end. Yeah, and that's fine. Because it's nice to like calculate handicaps and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to like pull my phone out, especially because now my phone is paid for by my work. And so there's certain like settings that have to be enabled. And one of them is like an auto lock your screen after 2 minutes, which is really inconvenient because even if 18 birdies is up, it locks.
Right.
And I just am not trying to just drain my phone battery.
Yeah.
So I
now
got
that you have the rangefinder, I don't really need it. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I used it. I don't think I used it for yardages once. I just used it for scorecard, but they kept asking me too many questions.
Dude, all the questions you were complaining about the entire time, I got them all in the same order as I was trying to enter my score manually, and I was like, skip. But
I never look back on it ever, but I do enter like, I hit green in regulation, or I didn't. I usually do that stuff. But
and I'm just gonna start marking that like manually on my card, and then I'll get going and add it. Cause I do like to like reference that, especially if I
never looked back at it once.
If I'm like playing a course for the second time, kind of thing. But I genuinely want to get better at golf.
Of course.
So I want to start like looking at those things. So like I know, okay, am I hitting it left? Am I hitting it right? That way I know when I go to the range to work on things, it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing consistently. How do I adjust? So maybe not mark green regulation, but I want to mark like off my drives. Did I go left? Did I go right? Kind of thing. Just to help me track it. I also have forgotten all of my distances.
Yeah, I need to get mine dialed in again.
And so I got a little like card to help me like track that. So I could like manually like, because I also did that with 18 birdies. I would like enter in my yardages because I usually hit my irons further. Like I hit my irons further than you.
Stopped after I usually hit my irons,
but I don't. Nowadays, I don't like my irons.
Listen, you hit them farther. I hit them straighter.
Right. And that's like, but now with the back surgery and like my body is different.
Win off consistency now.
My body is a little bit differently. So I thought I could hit a 7 iron. What did I?
200 yard. 100.
No, well, it was 180. Yeah. It was 170. I was like, I could hit my 7 170. It's like Bryson hit it 200. I can hit mine 170.
I can hit mine about 170.
There was no way I was hitting mine 170 today. Yeah. First time swinging it in 2 years. Ain't no way. But
we digress. Let's talk about what we're going to do the next 2 weeks. Just real quick. Next week, we are going to be just doing... So we're going to recap the season. We're breaking it down into 2 episodes just because length. So next week, we'll talk about Ball State, Butler, Evansville, IU, Indiana State, IU Indy. And then the week after, we'll talk about Notre Dame, Purdue, Fort Wayne, Southern Indiana, Valpo.
Sounds right.
So those will be our next 2 weeks. We are going to be live next week. The week after, we will not be live.
Correct.
We will pre-record because we're going to be in a different city playing golf for 4 days. So we're not going to play golf for 4 days, come home, and then record an episode. We're just going to pre-record.
Yep.
After that, we're going to move into the off season. We'll move into our interview content. We'll move into our, whatever else comes about. So
yeah,
that's the future for the show. We'll have interviews. We don't know who yet, but we'll have people on.
We also teased it a little bit last week. Sure talked about this a little bit earlier, but oh well.
We'll make sure to talk about that first next week.
Yeah. We have merch. We launched merch, so I guess I'll show it again because it's right here. But we have a merch store now. You can go online. It's all print on demand, so buy whatever you want that's on there. And
turnaround's pretty quick.
Like a week.
We're not Amazon.
Week and a half.
Yeah, about a week for most things, unless it's very specific things. Like I ordered a mug, got it in like 4 days, 3 days maybe.
Yeah.
Got like some other stuff coming.
But here's an example of a shirt that we have. I'm partially covered right now, but it's just a plain black shirt. On the front, it says in 49 states, ... And then on the back, it has our logo. We have a hoodie in this same style, same, logo and whatnot on the front and back. But we've got a variety of T-shirts and hoodies with our logo. We've got every like main type of drinkware that you would use. Different types of cups, pint glasses, rocks glasses, mugs. We've got a golf polo,
quarter zip,
quarter zip.
We got whatever you want. And if there's something you want that we don't have, let us know.
Correct.
Get it on there.
Correct. So that is live. The link is in the description on our YouTube and I guess audio podcast. It's also in our bio on all of our social media channels except for TikTok.
Yeah.
I think our TikTok links to Instagram maybe.
Yeah.
And if you click that link on TikTok and go to our Instagram, it is one of the top links in our link tree that's in our bio. So go check that out. We candidly, we're not doing it to try and make money. We're not trying to get rich off of the merch. Some of the things are a little bit more expensive than others, but that comes with the name brand, right? Like the Adidas golf polo, the Adidas quarter zip, things like that. We really wanted to do it for a way just for people to support us and help get the brand out. So tried to be pretty reasonable in our pricing. I feel like everything's reasonably priced. Like I don't look at it all. There's not anything specifically that I've looked at and be like, man, I don't want to buy this because of the price.
Right.
It's more of a like, this is reasonable, like a $20 T-shirt or maybe like $23 T-shirt, whatever. So if you love us and want to support us, it does go a long way.
He's right.
So
and breaking news: Rory McIlroy, April 4th, 2011. Come on, Butler.
Did you just go to his Instagram or his Twitter?
People are retweeting it. So
Rory McIlroy, noted fan of college basketball in Indiana.
Yeah, true.
Do we know that it had to do with Butler, or is it just like, is there someone named Butler?
No, that was the national championship game. 2011 would have been UConn game.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
April 4th, 2011.
The date didn't click in, or the year didn't click in my head.
But yeah, that's it. So we'll be back to talk about season recaps next week.
Yep. So I guess the clock is showing quadruple zeros, so it's time for us to get out of here. Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball podcast. We will see you next week. And remember, in 49 states,
it's just basketball.